see.
And in fact, I suspect that, the ending of the arc will have Momonosuke order Yamato to go with Luffy, to go to Laugh Tale, so that she can finish the work that his father started. Maybe not as an official crew member, but as a representative of the Kozuki clan, just like Oden was with Roger. Another thing that this chapter does is that it confirms a Reddit theory, because Yamato talks about Oden's execution, and we get a flashback panel of Yamato during the execution. And so the Reddit theory said that if you go back to chapter 971 and look at, I think it's either page 4 or 5, but it's the scene where a guy falls into the oil and is burning on the floor. We get to see Yamato in chapter 971, but her face, her head is cut off in that panel. But if you compare what she's wearing, and if you compare the two guys beside her, they fit the panel that we see in this chapter perfectly. Because the guy on Yamato's right is grouchy, he has a frown, he's like, "Grr," and then the guy on her left is wearing a circle pattern on his clothes. So it just fits perfectly. Even the place where she's standing fits the panel that we get in chapter 971. And so as Yamato was recalling all of this and talking to Shinobu about how she was also there to witness her speech, Yamato gets attacked by Sasaki's men. But it turns out she's fine. And so unless it's somehow revealed later that Yamato has double fruit power, I think the implication from this chapter is that Yamato can use Ryo. She uses it defensively to survive the explosion, and then she uses it for the end of the chapter. If you remember, before Rayleigh shows Luffy Ryo, he tells Luffy that he should think about this application of armament haki as wearing an invisible armor. And so that's the power that Yamato uses here to protect herself from the explosion, and then later on Rayleigh also tells Luffy that if that invisible armor is strong enough, it can also be used offensively. And so if you notice, if you look at the blast in the panel where Yamato is hitting the porcupine and sending him flying, the way that Oda drew that blast in that panel is the exact same way that he drew the blast back in chapter 939 when Hyogoro used Ryo on the Alpaca Man. If you don't believe me, go back to that chapter and compare the two. It's literally the same blast. Also in chapter 984, we see that Luffy is fighting Yamato, and Luffy's about to throw a punch, and we see the invisible aura of Ryo forming around Luffy's fist. And then Yamato blocks the attack with a foot, and then the entire section blows up. So Yamato must have been using defensive Ryo in that moment. Otherwise, how would she be able to block the attack? Also, normal armament haki hardening and Gear Second wouldn't have caused that big of an explosion. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that Yamato is a confirmed Ryo user. Now, something very important here, something that's worth noting, is that even though I'm saying that Yamato can use Ryo, she cannot use the internal destruction Ryo that we've seen other characters use in the series. The internal destruction Ryo is something that's very rare, that not a whole lot of characters have been able to use, right? So Yamato thus far has not been shown to be able to use the internal destruction Ryo. The only 3 characters in the entire series that have been shown to use the internal destruction Ryo are Luffy, Rayleigh, and Sabo. If Yamato had been able to use the internal destruction Ryo, then she would have been able to remove her own exploding cuffs instead of having Luffy do it, right? So just to give you a quick armament hockey recap, even though I made a video about this a long time ago and people had a problem with what I was saying, they really didn't agree with my interpretation. But that interpretation has withstood the test of time, and it works for me to understand what goes on with armament hockey. So what I said in that video essentially is that there's 3 levels of armament hockey, right? 3. First one is the black hardening, right? The black coating armament hockey. That's the first level. One step beyond that is Rio, which is the invisible armor that surrounds your body, like the aura that we've seen in the anime. And you can use that armor as either offensive or defensive power. You can use it to shoot it out, or you can use it to block and defend. And then the samurai use that as well on their swords to attack. And that was introduced all the way back in Alabasta when Zoro got a flashback to what his teacher was telling him. That's essentially Rio, but Rio for the samurai. And then the last level of armament hockey is the internal destruction, which again, that's the one that goes in you and just destroys you from the inside out. And we've only seen a couple of characters do that. So it goes black hardening, then Rio, then internal destruction. And so with that in mind, and considering the fact that both Luffy and Zoro already know Rio, Luffy knows the internal destruction Rio, Zoro just won't know. But because of what I was talking about last week in my review for chapter 993, I mentioned how Jinbei's Fishman Karate is also very similar to Rio in its dynamics and its properties. I kind of want to think that maybe Jinbei is going to be able to use Rio in this fight, in his upcoming fight. And maybe he's going to teach it to Sanji, or maybe Sanji's going to learn Rio. Both Jinbei and Sanji will have Rio by the end of this arc. I think it's just only natural, especially since Yamato has it, and if Yamato goes with them on the Sunny to Laugh Tale, I think it would make sense for both Jinbei and Sanji to have Rio as well. Before I go, and because the theme of this chapter is about how the true measure of a samurai comes down to the ability of a samurai to lay down their life for a just worthy cause, I would be remiss if I did not mention one of the most famous Zoro quotes out there, which is a quote that he has back in the Baratie arc, and that's the one where Zoro says, "When I decided to follow my dream, I had already discarded my life." Last week we had Kaido saying, "Oh, there will never be a samurai as great as Odin ever again." And then in this chapter we kind of get a definition to what it actually means to be a samurai. And so that quote from Zoro just kind of makes it obvious that Zoro will play a role in proving Kaido wrong. I'm not saying that Zoro's going to be able to kill Kaido in this arc, but if I wanted to come up with an emotional reason for it, I think there's enough theories suggesting that Shimotsuki Ushimaru was actually Zoro's father because they look so much alike. And we know that Shimotsuki Ushimaru died when he refused to join Orochi in a fight against Kaido. So if Kaido looks at Zoro, he could probably say something like, "I remember your face. It's very similar to that daimyo of Ringo, Shimotsuki Ushimaru. Nobody told you what happened to your father. I killed Mufasa." So there you have it. Kaido killed Zoro's father. And I think it's interesting that Kaido hasn't actually run into Zoro, right? Like, they haven't met face to face. Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why Oda was so careful about Zoro getting lost before Luffy got one-shotted by Kaido, so that Kaido wouldn't identify Zoro as Shimotsuki. So that's it. That's going to do it for me. Like I said, the chapter was average. Hopefully you enjoyed this review. Found it fruitful, juicy. Thanks so much for watching.
A commander that a lot of people value or view as one of the strongest, if currently what people expected. But should we have those lofty expectations? And I think when we view commanders in general, we view them again as the right hand or the direct subordinates of the army. They're supposed to fulfill or carry out the wills of the younger, and they're their most trusted subordinates. But I think based on what we've seen so far, there's a reason why we expect a lot from them. We saw how Marco wasn't great. Some people argue that Vista and Jones were just as good as Marco in Marine Corps, which I think Marco is clearly the superior commander in regards to White Man Guards. I think the story is just showing us that this character, Marco, has a bit more importance than the others, and that's how it's been throughout, right, in regards to the right-hand commanders. Marco is all carrying on White Man's will and trying to keep White Man's dream intact. So we move forward to other right hands in regards to Katakuri. Obviously, he's the direct subordinate of Big Mom. He took charge of Big Mom, was going through her entire mental state problems.
What's up, Goop?
Katakuri was the main antagonist in the movie.
Yeah, I'm playing PvP, bro.
He was the man in charge of it. Essentially, he was almost the captain.
Trying to get these dubs. Killed my Bergamo, which is very bad. Pressure on. You got the power. Nope, you done. Yeah, that's cool. Power, man. Imagine running mid and get beat by Super Team 2 going Bergamo. I mean, can't be me. Can't be me, won't be me. Shout out to Rick. All I got, man.
Katakuri was the one everyone looked to. And we saw in regards to portrayal from Katakuri, only in regards to intelligence, devil fruit, and overall strength. Katakuri was one of the characters that we fell in love with and is a force to be reckoned with. If we go to Kaido, it's the same thing in regards to King, in which King is the character that he's done some incredible things in regards to keeping the Big Mom Pirates off of the waterfall, gathering the Tobiropa to find Yamato, taking charge right now, even in the recent chapter, telling everyone what's going on so they can focus in and hone in on the samurai, but more specifically Momonosuke. So the right-hand commander in that situation as well, who we perceive to be King, takes
So chill, bro. I had a cold.
the captain, even if the captain they can always step up and perform in that role.
I am high, though. It's just I had a cold.
Interesting one. We still have to wait and see exactly how that's going.
He decent.
A lot of people
You don't fuck with him?
expect Shiryu to be that guy, not only because
He's
he's the
nice.
fighter that makes sense for Zoro, but also his portrayal
Got it.
beforehand, which I think a lot of people overlook.
He's a fast character.
Maybe one of the more underrated characters in the story. But today, this isn't about Shiryu. So based on what I said about Marco, Katakuri, and even King, even though we have to see a bit more from him in regards to combative prowess, I mean, obviously he's really strong. I mean, he's from an ancient race. And something that isn't as important, I mean, he has a sword. So for me, I think he's going to be fighting. But based on what we said about these characters, obviously based on what they've shown, we really expect a lot from them. Well, we know that ships and cards, information was put out. He has a lot of experience in regards to sailing and being a pirate. Yes, sometimes a Ben Beckman
Wow,
does
look at that damage.
maybe too much, but I think Ben Beckman deserves it. For instance, that moment in Marineford, Kizaru stopped immediately when he turned Kizaru back to when Kizaru looked over and,
Yeah, of course she's gonna cheat.
Now his territory expanded because it took a lot of white
He ain't gonna die. It's gonna be close.
Kaido specifically
I probably could kill him.
strength. For Shanks, it wasn't
I go to Bergamo.
solely about how great Shanks was. They specifically highlighted the great things
Gotcha.
and for all these emperors,
Ah,
especially what were the strengths of these young. For Shanks,
gotcha.
it was the fact that
Big hits.
they specifically highlighted
Woo.
Lucky and Yasuo.
I had a perk vanish.
They're widely renowned, and they also have a high average bounty and the best balance of any pirate. What does this tell you? First off, Shanks should have the most balanced pirate crew in the verse. In regards to if you're going up pirate crew versus pirate crew against Shanks, more often than not, his commanders will have the advantage because they're all well-renowned pirates and they're all
I can't force advantage.
Shanks is weaker than Big Mom and Kaido. I think his crewmates, as shown by what the Royal Government is choosing to highlight, they're more superior or should be superior than everyone else is. In regards to
Everybody wait for my barrier. Bro, a lot of people be catching on to the barrier, bro. This shit crazy. I be thinking I be having some good timing.
I don't think Lucky or Yasuo can be far wrong.
Damn it, I could have kept Bergamo.
They're around the same level, but on average, they're better than every other commander on
Damn it.
For instance, the Big Mom pirate.
They ain't fall for the barrier.
Julie has a higher bounty than category. If your category is stronger, that's one way in which Kaido has the advantage because his crew is shown to be a bit more reckless, a bit more outgoing. I think for Shanks' crew, they're going to have higher bounties than any
Wow, why is he so tanky? He like 2-star, bro.
stands at the top of all that, other than Shanks is obviously Ben Beckman. So what is it about Ben Beckman? What is Oda said? Well, first off, Ben Beckman had the highest IQ in the music. It's something that we always look at and always try to judge character by his
Bro, where my rush? Bruh.
Ben Beckman in his presence can be viewed by the strongest warriors in the new world. That doesn't say exactly how strong someone is, but it gives you an idea.
Chopping vitals together are real nice.
Also, based on this comment up about keeping people who scheme Ben Beckman to young caliber, which I think is a little far-fetched. It depends on how you view the statement. But one thing that was said in the different part is that if Shanks is a son, Ben Beckman is the one. And if people took that and ran with it as well, Ben Beckman is common.
So does
Shanks,
it-
which the River Card did confirm.
See?
But something we have to point out is that this comparison can be about a bit more than strength. With Shanks being the son, always cheerful, always wanting to party, and Ben Beckman being the moon with a calm mind and dignity. And if Shanks was ever careless, Ben Beckman would help and deal with the problem. Even in the Ace novel, as some of you will come to read, is Ben Beckman trying to dissect Ace and breaking down Ace based on his actions and what he knows about Ace, which goes back to Ben Beckman being hella intelligent. Now, going back to the statement about Shanks being the son and Ben Beckman being the moon, I think it's fair to compare them, though, based on their dynamic in which Ben Beckman and Shanks seems to mirror what Roger and Rayleigh have and what Luffy and Zoro have now, and to a lesser extent, Kid and Killer, right, in which you have the top two people be not that far apart, and where they're more of a partner than a subordinate. When we think of the other right-hand men, in regards to Marco, Katakuri, and King, they're direct subordinates of their captain, right, in which Marco called by Great Pops. Katakuri is literally the son of Big Mom. And for King, it's obvious Kaido is the top dog based on the structure of the crew in regards to it being a meritocracy. And there hasn't been any inclination that Kaido views King as a partner. We haven't seen that at all. Kaido's at the top, and his three subordinates, his three commanders, right beneath him. That is the structure that has been portrayed. So saying Ben Beckman is the strongest commander currently in the story, not crazy at all. But what do we expect from him? It's murky territory, just based off of how the story normally plays things out. We speculate that Shanks
I didn't know the combo would be over with that quick.
and more than likely Ben Beckman will probably be fighting Shitty. But the thing is with that matchup is that it might be too endgame for Oda to show us too much. So while we may see some things in regards to Ben Beckman versus Shitty or Shanks versus Blackbeard, we cannot see
Now I missed that.
because I think for Oda and how
Pop the main.
writes the story, it could spoil the
Fuck, I missed that too.
Blackbeard, which I think
Oh my god, man.
personally, I don't know how much we can
Bruh.
expect to get from Ben Beckman. Making some feats and drill things in regards to what he's done. It would be crazy to me if Ben Beckman, right? Because Ben Beckman, cheerful and just happy-go-lucky. Now, I'm not going to rule out the fact that Shanks could have done it, but it wouldn't be crazy if it was Benny. All in all, I expect Ben Beckman to be very powerful, insanely powerful. Going after the season, currently, I think Ben Beckman is indeed the strongest commander in the story and very close to the Yonko and the Admirals. He could probably take one of them out. And honestly, he probably could take an Admiral. That's how much respect I have for Ben Beckman, not the other two. That's where I'm leaning towards Ben Beckman and his overall strength and portrayal. In regards to his character, he's obviously been an important piece of Shanks' career, which he assumes command of the pocket for Shanks. Reminds us of Ace in the movie, which is a very happy-go-lucky guy, and it needs someone like Ben Beckman to really make him character. Something that you need in order for every significant Henry, significant Bailey, and sometimes even Zoro, the captain, sometimes when they're unhinged, they need someone to bring them back in. Category isn't anything. He's undercooked and Bob. He can't even bring her in because she's out of control. Definitely Bailey and Zoro. And we've actually seen that from Killer as well. Killer was one who convinced Kid to join the advisory with Hawkins, and it turned out well, but Killer has been shown to be the one to calm Kid down when things have been crazy. Kid was about to fight a war and try to leave the alliance, and he managed to calm everything down. If you're going to be the son, it's honestly just expected. But it has to get through this. What do you expect from Ben Beckman? I think he's one of the characters that I really can't wait to see in action. I'm just really excited for Ben Beckman's overall, how they interact with the Straw Hats, and see it quickly. David back, working smart between them, that would be amazing. But again, guys, give me your thoughts. What do you expect from Ben Beckman? And how strong do you think he is? And what you like to hear when it comes to this. Follow me on Twitter, please follow me on Instagram. Now, please, thanks to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. And like, subscribe. I'll get you the next one. Peace.
Like,
Hello and welcome to the Grand Line of the source for everything One Piece. Today we are here to dwell again on itself, the sickeningly charismatic Blackbeard. More specifically, the ever-curious topic of how powerful is Marshal D. Teach. And this is a very difficult subject to tackle, so it's now with a sort of inconsistent pieces of evidence regarding Blackbeard, and as such, the fan base who can encounter those who believe Blackbeard is on par with the original four emperors, or those who will claim that he is quite probably weaker than our modern-day Luffy, and also everything in between, lots of things in between, and that's because Blackbeard is just challenging to pin down. Right now, he does more or less function a bit like Schrodinger's emperor, both insanely powerful and ridiculously weak at the exact same time. We won't really know which it is until we eventually open the box, and we're going to attempt to peek into said box here today. But before we do, it is quiz time. Here's how it works. I'm going to give you a question about Blackbeard, followed by one multiple choice answer for every missing truth Blackbeard has, which is usually 3, sometimes more, sometimes less, for no to forget. And you will be charged with picking the right answer, and if you don't, then your punishment will be to subscribe to the Grand Line Review for regular One Piece content, loaded straight into your YouTube feed. I don't really consider it a punishment myself, but some of you do, so we'll go with that. And here is your question. Which of these is not officially listed as one of Blackbeard's hobbies? Is it A, gambling, B, researching history, or C, playing board games? It's a pretty tough one, actually, and I was quite surprised to discover this myself, but please do comment with your choice below and we shall reveal the answer shortly. But to begin with Blackbeard's power discussion, we need to dive into the incredibly inconsistent manner in which he's been portrayed. Almost certainly purposely, mind you, but one of the pieces of evidence you will hear cited most often from the Blackbeard is Sky Splitter level camp would be the fact that he is responsible for giving Shanks his iconic scar. In addition to this, you'll also hear Blackbeard being credited as having defeated Marco the Phoenix during the Payback War, and of course Blackbeard defeated Ace on Bonaro Island, and actually why not, let's throw Thatch in there as well. Blackbeard killed Thatch, another commander of the Whitebeard Pirates, meaning that Blackbeard actually has quite an impressive win streak against this particular crew, and all of those feats are pretty damn impressive. However, on the Blackbeard is scrubbed here side of the argument, we have situations such as 3 times skip Hockey Luffy, delivering a solid shot of pain, Blackbeard's wagering fell down, the fact that Blackbeard then proceeded to be effectively one-shot by Magellan's powers, as well as the idea that he and his entire crew fled at the mere mention of the name Suzuki during the post-war events. It's a very scary name, to be fair. But let's also not get too far ahead of ourselves, because Blackbeard also proved incapable of defeating an old man on the verge of death, with his brains quite literally spilling out of his head. I mean, it was Whitebeard, but still, Blackbeard proved woefully inefficient there. And if not for his crew stepping in and Whitebeard's general sense of mercy, we wouldn't even be talking about Teach right now. That's how far he was from Emperoric power pre-time skip. Or was he? Because Shanks' scar was well and truly delivered pre-time skip. In fact, it was done pre-time skip. because there was a time skip at the end of chapter 1, technically, so that's why that works. But there is a mighty disconnect of facts to reckon with here, which we are now going to attempt to make some sense.
Oh, I just switched to
Speaking of
13?
sense, prepare for very little of that as we reveal the answer to the contents of the quiz. So which of these was not officially listed as one of Blackbeard's hobbies? The answer is C, playing board games. And if you did not select C, then you better go. Hit the amazing red button and welcome to the Grand Fleet. Just as a fun fact, playing board games is actually the hobby of the page. But I was fascinated to discover that Blackbeard researches history as a hobby. It's something that I suppose he and Robin would bond over, and it makes me wonder if he might have some ability to read ancient language himself in his various research and intriguing. But here's another interesting and relevant to this video point. Shanks' scar, Thatcher's murder, and Marco's defeat. Three of Blackbeard's greatest achievements all occurred off-screen. And in One Piece, that should always give you pause for thought, especially with a character like Blackbeard. If there was any singular person in this world who really embodied piracy in the classical sense, it is Blackbeard. He will lie, he will cheat, he will trap, he will wait, and he is the epitome of opportunistic. And we've seen this in the series on multiple occasions, in fact, pretty much every occasion he appears. Going back to the Marineford example, imagine that you heard Blackbeard and his crew were the ones responsible for killing Whitebeard. You don't get any further context of the situation, just that one-line summary, which would give you the impression that this band of misfits took down the strongest man in the world, and it would be a highly inaccurate representation of Blackbeard and his abilities. Now apply that to one of the aforementioned situations, like say the Payback War. All we know about this event is the result. We don't know how the Whitebeard pirate remnants were defeated, and we can't even say for a fact that it was Blackbeard who beat Marco. There's even a very intriguing line in the official translation where Robin gives us the TLDR breakdown of the Payback War, where she states, "It was quite a large battle, with each side bringing in plenty of help. In the end, Marco's group was obliterated. It was only after this major confrontation that Blackbeard was first included among the list of emperors." And the greater emphasis here is on the scale of the battle, and the fact that both sides amassed a huge number of forces. This wasn't Blackbeard himself. This was an event where the tides of greater power and fate went in his favor. Now, as for Shanks' scar, something that is often neglected with this bit of evidence is that it was delivered at least 12 years before the current timeline, because Shanks didn't have it in Chapter 1, which was him prior to becoming an Emperor of Christie, but also after the time of his great rivalry with Mihawk. So it's hard to pin down Shanks here, harder than it is Blackbeard actually. But in regards to Blackbeard, what we do have to go on are Shanks' words to Whitebeard. "I fought countless battles and received countless scars, but the only one that aches right now is this one." He then proceeds to state that he did not receive the scar because he was being careless either. And I think the image concocted from that line paints the picture of some sort of epic one-on-one battle between Shanks and Blackbeard. I do have to pull the same card though. We didn't see it, so we don't know. We have no idea how Blackbeard managed to pull this off, or how many people were fighting at the time, what kind of situation Shanks was in, or how powerful Shanks was himself back then over 12 years ago. So I do think it's a mistake to try and judge Blackbeard based on this. And of course I'll say the same for Thatch. He is a commander whose power is a complete unknown and probably irrelevant, because Blackbeard appears to have murdered him without a fight even having taken place. It looks like it was just a stab in the back from someone Thatch let his guard down around, and then bam, gone. And with all of that in mind, I really do want to underscore the theme of Blackbeard. Basically, every time we hear about Blackbeard, it is some sort of great world-shaking feat. Meanwhile, every time we actually see Blackbeard in action, it's more of a great world-shaking disappointment. The evidence of his actions do not live up to the tales told of
why they
us.
keep lagging the fight?
However, there does exist one exception to this formula, which is the fight against Ace.
That's a
This
miss,
is
right?
probably the only battle we can say with a degree of certainty that Blackbeard won legitimately, because he did tell his crew to stay out of it, or at least he told Orga to hold off. And while it's not impossible to see a situation where the Blackbeard pirates stepped in to overwhelm Ace, it's a lot less likely with the physical evidence presented, which shows Ace and Blackbeard clashing on more or less equal footing. And that is currently our only something close to solid metric. However powerful you believe Ace was, pre-time skip Blackbeard was probably around there. Maybe slightly more powerful, maybe even slightly less, and it was just a bad Devil Fruit matchup for Ace, because the Yami Yami no Mi is a hard counter to those relying heavily on Logia powers, or even Devil Fruits in general. Actually, having said that, I'm now just Blackbeard could have been much, much weaker, but the Yami Yami is one difference. So once again, it's so hard to place Blackbeard himself, but I will say that his broad swath of accomplishments do not currently add up to our personal experiences of him. And whilst that might sound strange, there is actually strong precedence for this in the Luffy situation.
Oh, how, bro?
As a creature capable of doing the impossible but not through standard means, he requires all of the right conditions concerning fate to go his way, but as a result, the world knows him as the man who destroyed any slobby inside of the first Ice Break down, casually strolling to Big Island, destroyed Big Chateau, and then casually strolled out, and so much more. So my question would be, why can't Blackbeard's achievements have been performed in the exact same manner? There is a very clear parallel between Luffy and Blackbeard, which has been present ever since Giant. They are shockingly similar characters. You essentially just need to flip their preferences and you'll end up with the other. They both believe profoundly in dreams that both seem to possess the inherited will of their previous generational rivals, and both these and as such both equally subject to fate. I personally do not believe that Blackbeard is as powerful as many will give him credit for. I also don't believe he's as weak as many will also try to claim. I think Blackbeard is smack bang in the same situation as Luffy. He has enough power to make his way in the world, but he mostly relies on that extra super special ability that nobody else possesses in order to rise to prominence. In Luffy's case, that would be his charisma to draw others to him, which makes up for his grand impatience. Meanwhile, Blackbeard, very unsurprisingly, is very much the opposite. He has the patience to wait for the stars to align and carry him to victory. And whilst we do know annoyingly little about Blackbeard's journey, we do have an example of him being saved by fate during the yes, which is of course involved in Blackbeard and his crew should have died after being doused by poison by Magellan. However, the grand hand of fate stepped in to save their lives, just as it does in each and every single arc of Luffy. However, there is one, or I guess two, important differences that Blackbeard needs to be granted, which are his different abilities. I already touched on the Yami Yami previously, but the utility of this fruit has the potential to bring supremely powerful enemies down to Twitch's level, because it nullifies fruit abilities in an even greater way than Armament Taco and Stars can. It doesn't so much make Blackbeard himself powerful, in fact it makes him a lot weaker than your standard warriors, but it reduces the power of devil fruit-based opponents. The Guruguru however, is completely inarguable. This adds an absurd level of raw force to Blackbeard, given that it is considered the strongest in the Paramecia class. And this is something that Marco very much stated in chapter 909 when he was referring to the Payback War. But with Pops' power at his command, we couldn't overcome Teach anymore. He took everything. Oh, how I wanted to make that ingrained, which is, another one of those lines which appears to focus on an external factor. It's not so much that Blackbeard himself is powerful, it's...
Do you want to fight?
The difference. With the Guruguru enemy under his command, Marco...
Anybody said they want to fight?
...overcome Teach anymore, implying that without this fruit, that would certainly not be the case. I think that's very telling, and a super strong reason as to why we should never even come close to equating Blackbeard to the pinnacle of One Piece power in regards to characters like the Whitebeards, Kaidos, and Big Mothers of the world, each of whom could have their devil fruit stripped and still retain their status as emperors through raw strength alone. And I don't think there's anyone who could reasonably make the same argument with Blackbeard. And one other issue to address is that of final boss syndrome, that being the idea that Blackbeard is set up to be the ultimate foe of the One Piece series. And because of that, that automatically means that he will need to be the strongest of all of the enemies as well, which he really doesn't, and he almost certainly won't be. He and Luffy have very special roles in the history of this planet, ones that don't require either of them to force their way through this landscape with power alone. They both have a very handy ally in fate, and the two are no doubt destined to clash in a battle that will decide the future for centuries to come. And when that time comes, they're both going to be incredibly strong in their own right, but the final enemy does not necessarily mean the most powerful one. And I personally think it would be a very, very tall ask to make Blackbeard's abilities trump that of Kaido, and then expecting Luffy to bring him down one-on-one. You'd be getting into incredibly crazy and lazy shonen power jumping there, and One Piece has more or less been able to avoid that for 23 years now, so I don't see it falling into that trap at the very end. It's more likely that Luffy will bring down Kaido as part of some sort of team effort, and then meet a final opponent closer to his level of strength than Blackbeard, for a more even and satisfying one-on-one clash. That's my thinking anyway. But what do you guys think? Please do leave your thoughts in the comments below, or even join my Discord server. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, then please do go and check out some of my other content, or even subscribe to the channel for more glorious One Piece business uploaded straight into your YouTube feeds. And for now, this has been the Grand Line Review, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, Konoha got enough power to compete with this native shit, bro. Should have rushed when you had the chance. Now you ain't gonna get it. There you go. You should have killed Vegeta. You had a chance.
So, One Piece chapter 994.
You almost at 48.
If you haven't checked out that chapter yet, I suggest that you do so because I will be spoiling you. Now that you have, let's begin. So yeah, we continue on with 994. Honestly, guys, this was kind of a low-key chapter in comparison to the ones previously. And I think that my impression is maybe this is just going one step further than we can actually go at this moment. But the last chapter, Luffy was on floor B2. And then in this chapter, Luffy was shown briefly on floor 1. So between these two chapters, Luffy has gone up exactly one floor. And these two scenes, I think, give me the impression that they're not really essential. Like the one before, Luffy's arguing, or Sanji's arguing with Jinbei. They encounter
Yeah, we can fight, dog.
guy. They make a joke about smiles.
Give me an invite.
Come on, Luffy, you're not supposed to fight anybody. And then this chapter, we get the same joke and the same exact plot. Luffy, you're not supposed to fight anybody. Here's the joke of the smiles. You got a dude who's literally coming out of a chicken's anus. And another guy who's the most awkward giraffe transformation you could possibly imagine. There's nothing groundbreaking about these enemies. So it sticks out most to me is that we only went up one floor. It kind of gives me the impression that Oda might do this again. That the next chapter we get a scene with Luffy and he'll be on floor 2. And the chapter after that will be on floor 3. And then if you continue counting up in 6 chapters, Luffy will have reached the top. And that would be chapter 1000. Seriously, count it up yourself. Chapter 994, Luffy's on floor 1. So then we have floor 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, which is not the very top, it is the last floor. So in 5 chapters, we'll be on the last floor, which will be 999, and then the very top would be 1000. I don't know, guys, this doesn't have to happen, but I feel like the pace slowed down just a little bit in this chapter, and I usually get this feeling around these times in One Piece when Oda is working towards a numerical goal. Like, he has a specific moment planned out.
You have any Legend Limited?
And so,
yeah.
you know, he is...
I got almost all of them besides Ella Piccolo.
And so, a lot of the times there's...
I'm pretty sure he's the only one I'm missing. No, I don't got Ella Vegeta or Ella Piccolo. I got everybody else though. There's Super Saiyan 3 Goku right here. Let's go, huh? And there's Vegito. Let's look at Vegito. Oh, I've never seen this. Is that it? That all he do? That can't be it. There's no way. That's doo-doo. Yeah, I got Super Vegito too. Alright, bro. I see you, Goop. Super Vegito right here. I don't think so. Oh, I can Z-power him. He can go to 5-star. That sauce will go off. Just a little bit. What's up, Kills? What's good, dog? And see you in a minute. You want to be my friend, Niha? I'll show you my friend code. You back to what? Gil? Out of country? Word? Yeah, bro, you didn't tell me, bro. I have to race it to 10. Let's go. I got you, though. I got you. Just send an invite, bro. Damn good. Yeah, bro, I got you, bro. Unless I gotta hop on, unless I might not be able to do it on this phone, then that's different. Damn it. You gotta rush, my guy. Man, that's bad. I lost again. I've been chilling, bro. Been looking out, man. You know, K-Lab had to show me some love. It was nice. Gotcha. No, no dodge. B-Rank, no! Got demoted. We down 5 guild members. That's crazy. I don't think you can get away. tried it, boy. Come on, bro. You should know me. It ain't easy. Hey, fuck your trunk, dog. Yee, no bus for you. Heal up. That vein is back. Let's go, boys. No advantage for you. It was bad, man. Can't beat me. Imagine getting beat up by two extremes. And you do the night. Can't beat me, man. Damn, Trunks got a lot of health. I mean, buffs. Don't matter. You pulled anything? You see my video? I did 30-minute selling video, bro. Go check it out, man. I ain't gonna tell you what happened. Good shit, Goof. You ain't win, so you don't get a rematch, bro. Talk this shit. Oh, I didn't break. I dropped my phone. Oh, fuck. It's a heartbreak, bro. Hey, bro, you beat me tomorrow. Rematch, run it back. It's just, you know. Yeah, bro. I pulled some nice shit. I pulled a lot of 5 stars, bro. I'll tell you that. I don't like telling my videos, bro. What's the point of me making videos? Niggas ain't gonna watch them. Might well not make them bitches. It's just, I pulled a lot of shit, bro. I pulled a lot of 5 stars. Easily over, 10? Easily over 10 5 stars. Let me see. I ain't gonna tell you if I got nothing good, though, because, you know, that's gonna defeat the purpose of you watch. It's just watch. I got new shit. I'll tell you that much, too. I got some new shit. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 new 5 stars I can max out. And I think one of them is a resurrect character. So that's really 200 orbs right there. 2, 125, 125. Oh, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so 125, 125. 125, yeah, it's almost. My Gohan is Zenkai 7. What you talking about? I just showed Niha. Where the fuck the thing was? Hey, Pills, did you see your invite so I can add you in the game? Oh yeah, bro. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know you just got back. I'm just saying though, bro. You came to the stream, so I'm thinking maybe you scrolled on the channel, probably just hit the live stream, so it's all good. Don't worry about it, bro. It's cool. So your invite there, bro, so I can add you. I'm already on. I'm just waiting for you to add me. Look, Goop, he right here. Come on, bro. Got the dude. He ain't 14 stars, he's 7 stars, Zenkai 7, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I got a Zenkai go on too. What you mean? Got one too. You know, think they stop when they make yours? I got one too. What you mean? It's just, I don't like using him though. He's slow, man. And my reds are crippled badly because I don't really have blues at high star levels like that. Like my blues are like real low compared to every other color. Let me see. Limit break. What's the limit break? Let's see that though. So I got 2 regular Sparkings at 14 stars for blue. 2. Even though they older, it's still 2. You know, and then if you go to let's see, purple. I got 2 too. It's just yeah, purple is the back color for me too. Yellow. I got 4. Yellow is a good color for me. I got most of these characters started up, you know, across the board. It's like these bottom 3. Red is a good color for me. I got all the reds in the game, I think. I got all the reds in the game. And no, I'm missing that EX Rosie that just came out. She just came out though. You know. So otherwise, Oh, the board too. Well, I really wanted him. It's just he ain't come home. Trunk, he's feeling neglected. Man's killed again. I think we should be friends already. Alright, bro. So you want to see ring light though? That is a slow. Shit. Yeah, man. Vegito Blue, bro. I got Vegito Blue too. You know? I got what you got, bro. I don't like using Vegito Blue, bro. He too easy to fucking win with, bro. I mean, I want to use him in the sense that, he's my best blue because if my Broly was level 6, he'd be my best blue. Just he's not, you know. And everybody else is just, man, they just don't got enough stars, man. Like my newer blues don't. Like I wish I would have finished her. I would use her. Just I never finished her, man. And she hasn't came back yet. Cause these are some great buffs right here. Like bro, her with Cell minus 20 special arts cost. Man. Keep that shit real, man. Yeah, bro, looking out, bro. It's for wanting to come back. Bill Quest out. I want to use Boo. Just I want to get him higher star because the Kefla. Like, bruh, Kefla run through Boo, bruh. Boo do great when you can get him off to a great start. It's just, you got to get him off to a great start. And he range with all these Blast Armor units. They just, they maul his shit, bruh. Enough talking, hungry fight. Then you can get away. Chill out, saying, God, hey, bro, chill, bro. You want to rematch me that bad? Nah, bro. Fight tomorrow, bro. You put up a fight. You got spread. Jelly shit. That was that. Oh, these don't reset? Oh, that ain't nothing. Not done. He can almost get. If you can pop a green card with him when he comes onto the battlefield, what is that? 50% cut? Oh no, that's if you do it early. 40 timer counts. It's a long time. That's almost the whole match. Kamehameha. No, I can wait, but it was funny as fuck to just say that. Like, hey, Captain. Why? Why, Kills? Let me guess. Drew Graham? Okay, there. I wonder if he's going to make a difference. We're going to find out when his little funky ass get maxed out. Yeah, that's different, bro. If you get lucky enough to match me while I'm on stream, that's different. You know what? That happened before. A couple times, actually. Like, chill out. What you doing fighting me, dog? It just happens, though. I almost don't want to eat this anymore because of saucy. Oh, let's go. Whoa, go. Bro, chill, bro, trying to fight you, bro. Why you gotta say it like that? I'm running Vader. You think I do anything? Buddy getting that work. I'm gonna do 2 more co-ops, then we'll go back to PvP, cuz. Once I reach rank 50, I'll do more friend battles and shit. It's just, I'm only gonna do like 1 for now. 1 a person. You beat me, get a rematch. Don't think you can get away. Don't bear attack, bro. What are you doing? You're standing there. No, Pimp, I logged on and I logged off because I was starting my legend stream. I haven't logged back in yet. 154 free tickets to what? And I logged off because I had to help kills. Because I think nope, I didn't open it on this phone yet. Nope. No, I didn't log back in yet. I logged on this morning. I was going to check out the news. I'm about to log back in right now, though. Hey, Pimp, you ever seen your code? I think you did. I just didn't add you. I just didn't guild and shit. You guys need to do a lot of shit. Dead ass game. Wow, Pit. Wow. Full counter. It is, man. I don't know, bro. Some people still play it all the time, and they still talking about a lot of different things. I mean, mainly characters. That's about it, though. Builds and characters. I just used 10 tickets. I got an SSR. What if I get a banner? That'd be some bullshit. Like, I spend diamonds. And here I am using tickets, pulling a character. We see though. Let's see what happens. Finals. Oh, I got Halloween Gauther. I got Halloween Gauther from the tickets. Nice. Builds for what? GQ, Epic Raids, IV, PvP, shit like that. Yeah, bro. Let me show you. Unbelievable. I spent diamonds, no luck. Dropped the tickets, juice. Crazy. And I got one of the best ones. What's up, Darian? He busted. He just like the red one. He got a better attack card. It's a debuff. Excuse me, like attack. Depletes, inflicts 100%, inflicts damage equal to 120% of attack on all enemies and depletes one ultimate move gauge or orbs at the end of enemy turn. And that can go up to 2 turns, which is crazy. His passive? I didn't see his passive yet. I gotta look at it. Let me see. Or at least I don't remember. I probably did see it. Cause I've been looking at those a lot more. Bye-bye. I bought some SSR tickets too, and I pulled some new characters from there too. Increases ally attack related stats by 7% at the start of every turn if allies in battle are all from different races. Limit 5 times. Applies when entering battle resets when 2 of the same race appear. Okay. So have some variety. Cool. Cool. Bye-bye. Yippee. You streaming at 5 in the morning? I'm asleep. Oh, that was just today, bro. I've been up early as fuck. I've been up since like 3. So I could have been streaming a long time ago. Just I bullshitted for a little bit. Then I was like, all right, let me get up, get to work, and I'm here. Oh, they give out the banner tickets in this? Really? Because this is a banner ticket. Guaranteed. Universe Sparking. Guaranteed is his ticket. Already got one. Better gonna be here till the end of the month. Oh, I might be able to do some more summons on this before it go away. I want to get this dude and care funky ass. hope I get that green Kaioken Goku, bro. I need a new green unit to play with the strike base. None of you give a damn about none of you. In case they counter. Money. Hit. You see that, Denny? Still almost lost to Kessler, even after I killed her. You know? He was 7-star, bro. Like, pretty high count, man. It's still laggy. Wow, I hate Vegito sometimes. Like, why you have to? Are you done? Oh, look at this shit, bro. What am I supposed to do against this? Why didn't I just fucking just go for the rush, man? Nah, I don't know what you smoking.
Maybe a few that he otherwise, have time to kill. But yeah, guys, here's just don't these numbers randomly. This is not something that occurs because of random chance. This is something that Oda intentionally does, which means that whatever the natural pace of the story is, or whatever Oda would do if there has to speed up to get to the moment in 1091, rearrange the story, and or he has to slow the story down. Obviously, Oda is not an idiot, and if it's not reasonable or plausible to do something, he doesn't do it, which is why you see a lot of great moments or transitional moments that Oda had intended for a particular chapter fall like 1 or 2 or 3 chapters around the century mark. Because Oda's not going to completely sacrifice the story in order to reach these numbers. But it still is a pretty heavy obsession of his. Everyone is really excited about these numbers. There's something exciting or cool, the fact that you can expect things in certain chapters, but overall I find it to be something that I would criticize Oda for. It's not really important that this epic moment falls on this, beautiful number. Personally, I'd be more of the mindset of make each chapter as best as you could possibly imagine it being, so that the story is as best as you could possibly imagine it being. But yeah, I guess the whole point of this is to sort of caution you guys about a little bit of patience, perhaps. I think that after the last chapter, I got a little ahead of myself where I thought how quickly the story was going to go. It kind of slowed. Five or 4, 6.
Wow, they gotta rush that quick.
And the community thinks, and I think that might, but for sure he will have another opponent to fight. All of this makes sense to me with how Oda has been highlighting and sort of separating characters. Sanji and Jinbei. Sanji's almost jealous that Jinbei's sort of taking his role. He's supposed to be, one of the strongest along with Zoro. He on that pedestal, Jinbei's putting on that. Reason, they're big here as well. Somebody's got going down. They'll see the samurai and how the battle is going or writ, and in a way that we think
I should have brought.
that might be a moment worthy of chapter.
I just said this would be a bad matchup because they got 2 people who can take away buffs. Strong ass fucking go team again. I know you got it in you. Well, Bobo. Probably gonna rush. It's a miracle. I won twice against Kefla. Just oh, I didn't go to Gohan? That's bad. I meant to go to Gohan. Come on. Team. Oh my God. Irritate Panky enough to live.
Just keep in mind that we have a lot going on with everybody else as well. Frankie went off a few chapters. We saw it right around the same time. Sparrow, you have to wonder what.
Damn, it cost 1,000 tickets to get each one? Bruh.
Stalling people and pirates, and so far that has 100% turned out to be the case. Law is absolutely and totally missing in action. Same with Eustace Kid. I kind of expect them to reach the top 4 at the same time as Luffy. So there's a lot of things that we can be sure still that we should expect to have more screen time and more emphasis. But yeah, let's get more into the chapter itself. I thought it was really an interesting choice on Oda's part to have Kinemon literally cauterize Kiku's wound, which prevents infection and bleeding out, so that she could continue fighting. I was, hoping for this to end up being the oh shit moment, and it still was. But Oda, I think, more so turned it into a moment of determination. The Scabbards aren't giving up. If they aren't dead, they will keep fighting. This is a fight to the death. And Oda is reminding us of this. Running away from this fight is not an option. Again, it's a nice contrast with the last chapter where Momonosuke and Luffy are running from their fights, but the Scabbards are in the battle that they signed up for. There is no running away. Did you guys notice that Kinemon's blade literally caught fire? I mean, he's done this before, but in this chapter, it was in your face. I've said this for a very long time. We have seen the same thing from Luffy with Red Hawk, and the same thing with Sanji. If you weren't convinced before, this is a legitimate power, totally unrelated to friction or devil fruits or whatever other explanation there's been over the years. When talking about this power before, I've called it soul power, and you guys should know that the relation between Haki and one's spirit, so soul power might as well mean Haki, and I think that this particular ability will have an even greater role in the story going forward. I think that understanding this, and eventually we will understand this, leads to a greater understanding of Haki, the power of the spirit, the power of the soul, which is in-game One Piece techniques. Like, as an example,
I believe Zoro said in Little Garden how much he would love to have a flame sword. Fire techniques. He also has shown abilities in Punk Hazard. Explicitly, verbatim, Oda left the Chekhov's gun there. This thing will happen. I don't think it takes a genius to put these ones together. Zoro is going to learn how to do this. He will get his flame sword, however that's possible. Maybe he needs a particular kind of blade, maybe he doesn't. We'll see. And he will probably also, just like Kinemon, cut Kaido's fire breath attack. Or some similar situation.
That'd be weird.
Definitely going to happen. But I also kind of want to take this moment
a Bleach game like Legends would be fun as fuck. A Naruto game like Legends would be fun as fuck. A One Piece
seemingly
game like Legends
controversial
would be fun
whenever I
as
bring it
fuck.
up, at least to some degree. But Brook has ice powers, which he explains
Shit be
himself
tight,
to
bro.
be relating to his soul and the underworld,
Go,
and
go,
not
go.
in the ability of his fruit per se. He has the revive fruit. What does that have to do with creating ice? The ice is an actual power with an actual exclamation. So it's just something to keep in mind. I'm kind of interested to see how Brook deals with, the ice demons. Absolutely, I can imagine Brook getting bitten, but, you cannot freeze the bones of those who have survived damnation. Or, something like that. I can see it. Or maybe you beat ice with more ice. It's a miracle I'm so cold that I'm warm? Maybe not. Or maybe this would be a good time for Zoro to master Kinemon's fire techniques, because that seems like the stronger bet there. Kinemon up there cauterizing Kiku's wounds with fire, and Zoro down at the bottom exercising the ice demons, with fire. I'm getting so far ahead of myself. Kaido's line to the samurai was just an epic moment from this chapter. I really liked it. Like Roger and Whitebeard, I like you, samurai. You put up a good fight. It is not with the advancement of time, but rather death that humans truly attain perfection. Wouldn't you agree? Like, God, that was so good. And the way Oda drew it, too. Kaido has a seriously warped worldview, which is, I guess, no surprise to anybody, but, I'm really interested in reading the official translation here because some of this wording could potentially be used for theory crafting. Perfection can only be achieved by death, which would explain Kaido's desire to destroy the world and also kill himself, but also killing everybody else in the process. A perfect world is a world without humans. We see Queen and Jack use plague weapons, but I think that you get the sense that maybe Kaido believes humans to be the real plague, and he's only fighting fairly. That's pretty deep. And there's also a huge contrast in motivations. Like, from the ally standpoint, they want to save the people of Wano, they want to save their friends, because those lives are precious. But to Kaido, no life is precious. Perfection can only be achieved through death. So by killing these people, he believes that he's doing them and the world a favor. Life is suffering. In my opinion, this is how you justify a villain. This is how you make a real villain. Real villains in the real world all believe themselves to, believe something like this. Everyone believes themselves to be the heroes, even somebody like Hitler. Honestly, sometimes I find it difficult to disagree, which is, I think, therein lies the insight needed into why Kaido makes sense and is an interesting villain. How he will carry his own weight philosophically as a great enemy who has actual followers. Whitebeard collected those looking for family. Big Mom collects idealists with a proclivity towards violence and indulgence. I assume Shanks collects people that want to be carefree or free. Blackbeard collects those with great and also dark ambition, which is kind of the foil to Luffy, which his would be he would collect people with great and good ambition. And then Kaido collects those who have been maybe scarred by the world, or who desire revenge for their own suffering, or the suffering of those that they loved. Essentially I get the impression that Kaido is Thanos. I'm not going to explain Thanos. I assume everybody here has seen the Avengers. But essentially the point is that Thanos thought that he was saving the world by killing people. But anyway, I thought the last chapter, the guy with the turtle lower body, was the most unfortunate smile that we had seen thus far. But Oda took it one step further in this. The man's head was literally a chicken's asshole. Seriously. Oda's got his template, he's got his formula. We need at least one joke per chapter, unless it's like a really intense chapter. That's just what One Piece is. So right now, the smiles are kind of the butt of the joke. Oda's even making fun of how fodder they are. What do you mean, mediocre? We will be exceeding your expectations this time. Defeated instantly. A lot of people are actually annoyed with this. Oda thinks to himself, how to make this funny? Let's do it more. And it gets him every time. But yeah, it seems to me like the theme of the chapter was the contrast between the allies, the samurai, and the
But
beast
these
pirates.
damn ghosts
Keep the
take so
roster
goddamn long to
It
gather.
matters not. I can still fight to protect what I came to protect.
Despite me
At the end of
having,
the chapter, we see Yamato carrying the very same mentality. I am prepared to die for you,
beautiful
Momonosuke.
Mr.
And again, with one of the lesser samurai who got infected, he was prepared to kill himself to save the others. And then on the other hand, Queen creates a game where the entire objective is that his own forces fight for their lives because they are desperate not to die. It's the total opposite. I think it's important to understand that previously the beast pirates
can
weren't
use,
fighting for anything
calculus
greater than themselves.
and hit
But now
for
that
more
has
bonus?
changed. Queen says it himself. These ice demons, were they your friends, your leaders, your subordinates? Again, Kaido wants everyone to die, at least eventually. That includes his own subordinates. So this move is essentially explained earlier in the chapter. That's how these things sort of connect. I think that was what Oda was thinking. But it also acts as a game of motivation. I've seen it in a lot of other stories, but this really reminds me of Kingdom. The side fighting for something that they desperately want will surpass their limits. At the start of this battle, the ones most motivated were allies and samurais. They had something to fight for, and that made them stronger. But in a total opposite way, Queen achieved this very same thing in this chapter. It's like, rule by fear. He manipulated them to have a similar level of intensity. You really want to live? Well, the chances of death for your friends is 100% unless you fight with all that you've got. I do think that this might make the enemies even stronger, more desperate. I think Queen has leveled the playing field with a cruel style of leadership. But yeah, the end of this chapter actually did hit me, I think, more than I was expecting. Honestly, I like Yamato. I'm not going to say that I don't like Yamato. I think that she's interesting. But up until now, I haven't really been fully invested in that storyline. This chapter moved the needle a bit for me. The moment where she was shot by the cannons or whatever weapons Sasaki had, essentially unscathed. Like, man,
Yeah,
Yamato
Rosie
is
wasn't even a bonus.
just like Kaido. You guys know I think that Kaido is an actual dragon. That's just running theory. That's what I believe. Still haven't gotten a confirmation that he has a devil fruit ability or has the dragon devil fruit. And I believe that as a dragon, he can shapeshift into human form, or maybe he has a humanoid devil fruit instead. There is definitely something genetic about Yamato's strength and durability. I cannot stop thinking about just how awesome it would be to reveal Kaido as an actual dragon, a real-life, living from the Legends dragon, by having Yamato be capable of the very same transformation. The fans would lose their minds. Wait, Yamato is a dragon too? What? How is that possibility? And then this realization slowly hits that as Kaido's son, biological child, what that would probably mean. I know I'm off in La La Land again. This whole review has been off in La La Land, but, when he took that attack from Sasaki, I couldn't help but think just how cool it would be rising from the dust and the smoke as another Eastern dragon. And then you get way deep into theories about Uranus, what being a dragon, the significance of that, why the world government is interested in creating dragons, all of this stuff. Momonosuke having all of it. Oh, I want that. I'm just saying, guys, that if Oda actually takes Kaido to be an actual dragon, let to be a reveal at some point in time. The way to make that the most exciting is to reveal it through Yamato. Everyone is just has to take a moment to actually think into it. And then we can even get into even deeper things like Yamato being androgynous. We're not sure what gender she is, or she's very gender fluid. Maybe a dragon doesn't have a gender. So it is totally that dragon's choice. God, one of the dislikes of this video. I can't help it, guys. I am my own greatest enemy. But yeah, I'm just wondering after all of this, how exactly did the Flying Six manage to capture Yamato before? Because based on this chapter, good lord, I just feel like that doesn't seem, in their feet. But yeah, I'm excited to see what happens from here and how exactly Oda cultivates the emotional beats of all of this. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I had to say today. As always, I'm curious as to what you guys think. Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Like the video if you liked the video, dislike the video if you disliked the video, subscribe if you want to be notified for my future content. And as always, guys, have a wonderful day.
Twin Co-op is over. The time for worlds is over. Draw your soul. I don't know why they didn't do 3-star and below this time around. They only did 6 and 5 stars, 6-star and below, 7-star and higher. Yeah. Fucking pumpkin drop rates.
See a card trick? Okay, pick a card. Any card. I mean, you can't actually pick a card, but like pick a card, like any card in the deck. I don't care which one. All right, you have a card selected. Okay, you got one. All right, is this your card? The Queen of Diamonds! The card trick part is, of course, out of everybody that's watching this video, at some point, probably somebody actually did pick the Queen of Diamonds, in which case, your mind is just blown right now. So, there you go. Congratulations. Card trick vindicated. Okay. This will be One Piece chapter 994. We're getting close to 1,000, guys. 994. The number's getting higher.
It's getting high like shit, man. I need a new fucking blue unit to use, bro. Go to 5-star. I could try him again. He was nice, man. What's wrong with the, hey, you like Tekken? I think Tekken dope, bro. I wonder, can I get this to S? Should I get like a fucking 8 or 9? I think it'll happen. How many erasers I used? 5 already. Nothing. 6 for nothing. 7 for nothing. 8. This is so bad. I use all my erasers? No, I gotta be out of materials. I had like 40 something, bro. There's no way. I don't got enough money. Damn, that shit, I have 46 million. Bruh, that shit expensive as fuck. Bro, I just have 46 million. They said I'm broke now. Wow, that's crazy. You ain't got no money to take your broke ass home.
Chapters of One Piece in a row with no interruptions. I consider that a win with everything going on. But yeah, next chapter 995, that'll really kick off the countdown. I brought this up yesterday. I was thinking, like, what happens if chapter 999 but he might do 999 ending, and then we know something big's gonna happen in chapter 1000. But anyway, this will be chapter 994, titled My Other Name is Yamato, and we continue on with we actually continue on and we wrap up Beiji's Oh My Family in this chapter, right? We get the grand finale of Beiji sailing off in his new ship. It's not quite as awesome as his other one, but he has a new ship, and he's sailing off, and he's got Lola there, and Donnie, and they're both married now, and the Marines are just kind of chasing them and just bombarding them with shells. But Beiji just kind of looks to the viewer and just kind of smiles, like, I'm continuing my piratey gangster ways. I hope you guys enjoyed my little story here. Well, it's back to the Grand Line for me here. And then he just sails off. We just have like a nice fin at the bottom, like it was like a romance film back in like the 1930s. Like everybody gets together, there's a big wedding, everybody's happy. And then so that's it. Now, what I like about this cover story, well, I like that we brought back Lola. I'm liking that we tied up
Damn it.
the plot thread. I was kind of curious on how that was all going to go because Lola was back in the first half of the Grand Line. So how are we going to tie back into her? But her going to Dressrosa, I think it makes pretty good sense considering it's the country of passion. It makes sense that they would eventually end up there. So just like a lot of cover stories, though, this is of course setting up stuff for later in the main story. I'm thinking that eventually, like Beiji's group is going to run across the Straw Hats again. Lola's going to be there, so Nami and Lola will be able to be reunited, and that'll be a nice little scene there. Setting up stuff like that. Now, it wasn't as good as like Inaru's Great Space Operation or the CP9 Independent Report, but I think this was a pretty solid cover story. It went on a little bit longer than I would have liked to tell this story. I think you could have probably told this story in way fewer chapters. Like there were just some extra panels with them running around Dressrosa and avoiding the Marines and everything. And I'm like, you probably could have cut some of that stuff out. But overall, I really like this cover spread. And we'll see where we go from here.
Bruh.
After each cover story, Oda tends to take a little bit of a break. He'll do like requests from fans and stuff. Like I want you to draw, Luffy wrestling a dinosaur, which would be very applicable for now in Wano. But we'll have an image of Luffy in Gear 3rd wrestling a T-Rex or something. I want to see Frankie making a mouse a little suit of mechanized steampunk armor. I actually do want to see that. Frankie's like really delicate. He has his giant hands and the little hands come out. He's like grabbing his little steampunk outfit for this mouse.
That's bad,
Like,
man.
really excited. It's like, yeah, get a little steampunk outfit, yay. So yeah, we'll probably see some stuff like that. And give it a few months and we'll get to another cover story.
Here we go.
Caesar Clayton's, magnificent misadventures or something. I still want to see the little story where Caesar's at right now. So we might go to him next. 'Cause I think that's prime real estate for a cover story. You know what I mean? There's a lot of wacky stuff that Caesar can get himself into, right? All right, so we continue on. Last time, what happened last time? Oh
Kill him.
He just takes out his sword and just, okay, physics majors out there. Could you, I know, keeping in mind for anime and manga watching, would it be feasible if the
Don't cheat, bro.
he's taking out his
They started lagging the game.
vibrating it wicked fast. Now, faster than any normal human in our world could possibly do. But if he could do that, like just vibrate his sword crazy fast, that could probably not happen, even in the reality that I'm spitting here. But I'm trying to figure out what it is. Like, does Kinemon, like, literally just have pyrokinesis? Like, I mean, if he does, I'm fine with that. I just want some clarification here, you know what I mean? Well, whatever. I'm not gonna harp on that the entire video. I mean, I probably could. But anyway, he takes out the sword, it just ignites, and then Izo, you know, has, you know, Kiku's arm just tighten the wound, and like, you know, okay, brace yourself, this is gonna hurt. It's like, Kinemon, you ready? I'm like, yeah. Kiku, you ready? Yep, I'm ready. Okay, here we go. And then Kinemon just takes his sword and just cauterizes the wound right then and there. And, you know, it's very, very painful, but after the process, like, Kiku, can you still fight? And Kiku just picks up her other sword and she's like, yeah, I can. Yes, I can. Of course, I'm good. I mean, I was expecting Kiku to just be out of the fight from here on out. Like, okay, 9 red scabbards.
Now, blue card, bro. Come on. This fucking red Goku.
Kiku's very
See, if I elevate Vegeta,
That's not a good thing. I'm not even sure why I can pop it back on now with the Yabi no Mi because the wound has been burned and the flesh has been cauterized and some shit. I don't know if you can just pop it back on after that, but I guess we'll wait to see. Kiku just might not have an arm for the rest of this story. But at any rate, Kaido's attack did way more than just injure Kiku. This, you know, wind blades all over the top of Onigashima, and so there's other members of the Beast Pirates still up there, like tending to Jack's wounds, and they get blasted back too. And then you have the Minks still there, and the
him if I can get rid of his vanish.
Everybody's going to arrive fairly shortly, but let's check in to see where they're at right now. So we come back over to the first floor of Kaido's mansion of the Uno Tower. Once again, here is a map of the location. Of course, they're right there, right about, I'd say where the mouth is located right there. They're outside of the basement, finally. So, yeah, please refer to the map Muffin whenever you know, if you're curious on where these guys are located. So you got Luffy, you got Jinbei, and you got Sanji. They're rushing through the halls, of course. They're like, oh no, it's Straw Hat Luffy. Oh no, it's Jinbei. And then Sanji's like, how come you didn't mention Black Leg Sanji? Where is he? How come you didn't mention Sanji? And Sanji like kicks them, and it's like he's pissed off. He's just like, man, everybody cares about Luffy because he's got 1.5 billion berries, and he's the captain of the Straw Hats. And everybody cares about Jinbei because he was the former warlord and everything of First Knight of the Sea. How come I don't get any respect? It's okay, Sanji. It's okay. I like you. Because fun fact, in case you didn't know, Sanji was my favorite Straw Hat before Frankie was introduced and before Robin was introduced. But back during the East Blue, it was Sanji all the time. So, you know, keep going, Sanji. Eventually, people will remember your name. Anyway, they're running through the hallway. Luffy has not gotten distracted yet, but you know, that's because of probably Jinbei and Sanji keeping him kind of on target. We have an introduction of two new headliners. We got Hamlet, who is a giraffe style, and we have Fortress with a chicken smile. Now, Oda kind of makes a joke here where both of them get defeated super quickly, you know, especially Hamlet. Hamlet gets defeated very quickly, of course, because brevity is the soul of it. Okay, but anyway, that makes more sense if you've actually read Hamlet. And anyway, so out of the giraffe smile, you have a regular giraffe. Just picture a giraffe legs, giraffe body, giraffe neck. And then right as the neck ends, that's where Hamlet's body begins. So, like, the neck goes up into Hamlet's, like, back. So the neck ends here, and so you basically just have Hamlet, like this little short guy on top of the giraffe, just kind of like bouncing around, you know, as like he has like the neck holding him up, and he's just like, I am Hamlet, and he's dressed kind of like a Shakespearean kind of like prince. And then that's not even weird though compared to Fortrix, compared to this monstrosity, okay? Fortrix, he might actually have. We've seen some weird smiles, okay? We saw Dobun, and Dobun up until this point, I'd said, was like the worst at the smile lottery. Where Dobun literally turned into a hippo inside of the hippo. Like, he's literally inside of the hippo's mouth. Alright, that's pretty messed up. But Fortrix, literally, he turned into a chicken's ass. Right? Like, the chicken, like, here's Fortrix's body. The chicken spawns behind him. And so the chicken head is like back here, and like, you know how the chicken has like the plumage, you know, the feathers that come out around its butt area? Yeah, his head is like right in the middle of like of the feathers. So the feathers are kind of like his hair, but it's like he's the chicken's ass. Maybe a little bit more north of the ass, but still, he's around the general area. I do not even want to question how he goes to the bathroom, how this whole process even works. I have no idea. But at any rate, as you can imagine, they're both named after card games. Hamlet is named after a variation of Solitaire, from what I've found out. I just did a quick Google search, honestly, called Hamlet Solitaire. And I searched for a card game called Four Tricks, and I ended up finding a card game called All Fours. Like, that was a much more prominent card game. Once again, I just did a brief Google search on this. Briscoli, the gorilla dude from last time, was also a card game. I believe an Italian one, so I'm probably mispronouncing it.
Another cheater.
But yeah, obviously all of the headliners have card games. Some are more obscure than others. But at any rate, they both get defeated very quickly by Sanji. Sanji just kicks them. He's like, stop spawning that way. Bam! It's like, they realize how stupid this is getting. Like, every time they fight a headliner, it's just like, I'm the gorilla headliner. I'm the gorilla smile. You expect it to be like, you know, like 4 arms and like a big burly gorilla man. But it's the gorilla coming out of his hand. And like the second, like, they're not even threatened by their power, because they are headliners. They do know how to fight. It's just the Straw Hats are stronger, but it's like,
oh,
Sanji and Jinbei, whenever
they can't get no closer than that, bro.
spawning like that, it's stupid. Bam! Bam! Kick them twice, knock them down, and then just move forward. You know, it's just like, they're not even like, I can't wait till they run into a smile that looks physically threatening, because they do exist. They do. They're not all wacky like this. You know, they're not all a chicken's ass. Okay, so eventually they're gonna run into like, you know, I'm the bull smile. I have the power of a bull, but it's like literally
Nice.
For Golden Kagura, it's not so much happy and dancing. I feel bad for the pleasures, I really do. Because like an hour ago, they were sitting around drinking the one day a year they just to get to lay back and be like, man, this Fire Festival's great. Look. Oh, hey, look, Momonosuke is about to be executed. Cool. But now, you know, it's an hour later. Everybody's turning into ice demons. Brother.
Oh, I didn't swipe out of that?
There's a scene here, a little bit of
No.
pathos, where one of the Beast Pirates is fighting against his brother that turned into an Ice Oni. It's like, brother, we joined the Beast Pirates together. Don't you remember, brother?
I'm caring for my buffs. Great.
I guess it started raining outside.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, well, I apologize for that. It started raining a lot. There might be some ambient noise now. I don't know how well it's being picked up on my microphone, but I gotta keep going, so I'm already halfway through it, and so hopefully this won't be too bad outside. But at any rate, yeah, two brothers are like fighting each other. Omasa gets afflicted by the Ice Oni virus. Omasa being the Yakuza leader from Udon, the big dude with like the cat whiskers. You know, so he's being affected. He's about ready to commit seppuku. He's like, boss, Goro, I don't want to be a monster. I don't want to fight you. Let me just end it. And Goro was like, no, monster, don't do it. You know, if you get to the point of no return, I'll cut you down myself as your superior, as your boss, Goro. But do not take it until we absolutely know for certain that we can't heal you, right? And so last chapter I missed this, but Chopper was present in the live form when everything happened, when the Ice Onis first started spawning, okay? So Chopper is there now, right? And, you know, and like these Ice Oni, by the way, are attacking everybody, like it's indiscriminate. Like you see the Mimawari Gumi and the Oniwabanshu, like fighting back to back. Then you see Hote and Hanzo there in the Oniwabanshu. And then again, these Ice Onis are attacking everybody. They don't care. What the hell's up with Queen? You know, and Queen's up there and he's just like, yeah, you stupid pleasures. All you were good for is laughing. So laugh to your graves. So he is a shit. He's freaking Queen. I mean, he's unloading a minigun.
Nice.
Playgrounds all over the game live. You know, he just
Alright, Pink. I'm going to catch you out, bro.
so, Chopper's there, and he's like, everyone, like, you also have Robin there as well, and Zoro, they're like, you know, trying to push everybody back. Everybody's like, use pole arms, use Mogura, don't fight them with your bare hands, don't even use like a sword or an axe or anything, use pole arms. Robin, you know, picking up just like scraps of wood, they just keep them away, you know, because if you touch them, it's like instant death. And so, Chopper's like, I'm not going to be able to mass produce to analyze this, make an antibody, and mass produce it in the battlefield. That's impossible. I'm not
Damn
able
it.
to do that.
I was way too nervous.
Different from, you know, from when we were in Udon until now.
Do that like blah, blah, blah.
This virus is present. Queen, he's here. And so Chopper hypothesized.
What?
He's probably not
Bruh. Lucky shit.
He doesn't want to get infected by this shit.
These
So, you know,
laggy
he does
matches are so
antibody.
hard to work
So
with, man.
now I can't analyze a virus.
You too, Pimp, bro. Have a good day, bro. I'm about to start work too,
on the
bro.
battlefield. But if I get my hooves on an antibody already made,
I told you,
I can
Pimp.
produce that in an instant on the battlefield and get it to everybody and save everyone.
BDS
And
at that
Queen is
place,
like,
bro.
yeah, it takes about an
I'm gonna get my orbs back. I got about 500 coming back, so it's cool.
I mean, it's One Piece. It's not going to be very medically
Yeah,
accurate.
Shinkai should be
People
back soon,
turning
so.
into damn ice demons here. I don't even know how this works. Like, it hits you and what? Your body temperature drops and ice begins to form, but ice forms in a very specific way in the form of claws and fangs and horns and turns you into a mindless zombie. Like, it's not medically accurate, I'm sure. But Chopper goes more into, like, I don't really care so
Into
much
the
about
dark
the turning
side.
into ice demons and how that works.
Cut me, Kayla,
It's
please.
obviously going to drain their body. Like, they're getting a huge adrenaline boost and, like, energy boost, plus their bodies are freezing. They're not gonna
Yeah,
last
bro. That's because Caleb kept shafting me, bro. If you watch some of my summoning videos, I would do like 1,000, 2,000, and get 8. Caleb rage, bro.
I don't know how the hell
Because I be needing newer characters. Like, I got a lot of old shit.
Like, yeah, I got it. Now I'll just, you know, rummage around in my little medical pack for 5 seconds. All right, I made a bucket of the stuff.
I could probably do one more fight.
Like, I don't know how he plans on doing that, but he says he can do it, and I trust Chopper. And he's
One more fight.
the doctor with the skills.
Yeah, I was gonna do 350, just Yama, bro. Like, Yama, one of my favorite captains, so it's like,
Plus, I mean, maybe
a little bit more for
Frankie
Yama.
and Frankie can do some super science and
fuck.
make like a vaccine cannon or something. Isn't that the name of a Yu-Gi-Oh card? Vaccine cannon or something? Virus cannon is the name of a card. I don't know what vaccine cannon is. But, well, whatever. It's manga. It's ridiculous. This is the world where you just drink milk and you grow new teeth.
Little
So,
bit.
whatever. It's fine. But now we cut over to Apu. And this is great. Apu's like,
Be
"We
like
gotta
that,
get
bro.
outta here."
I'ma
So
get
he
back
goes over
though.
the door and he's like,
Hopefully.
"Hey, it's locked.
Sooner
What
than
the
later.
hell?" And Queen
just throws the antibody over his little capsule. This is the only antibody that exists. This tiny little capsule. Throws it over to Apu. Thank God Apu doesn't drop it. He catches it. He's like, what's this? And he's like, oh, that's the antibody. I'm like, oh, okay, for the ice virus. I get it. Thanks, Queen. He's like, now everybody's going to chase after you. If you can survive for 1 hour, they'll all die and you get to win. If you get the virus taken from you, I mean, you get the antibody for the virus taken from you, I'll kill you
let me see,
myself,
bro.
Apu. And have fun. Welcome to Queen Game Night. Zuma, 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 funk! Yeah, so that's what we're doing now.
And a
So
guaranteed
Queen
God
is-
tier? This coming to global?
Queen is Queen, you know. Queen's all about a game show, all about the
God tier
entertainment
event.
factor of all this. You know, just because like 5,000 something samurai are invading your home base and attacking your boss, and
Sheesh.
Gentlemen, we are gathered here today to celebrate the size of this W. This is one of the biggest wins I've ever seen. I've just woken up and I thought this was so good that I must be dreaming. It's just absolutely ridiculous. So we're getting 154 free summons on Global, and it's also a step-up banner where we get to select at certain milestones. I don't know if, like the Matrona banner, this is only going to be 7 tickets, so 7 multis. So if you log in all of the days, you get to do it twice, and then you get to select one of either Demon Meliodas, Valenti, or Lilia. And this is absolutely huge because I have so many players that missed out on the Lilia banner that always come on the videos. I completely understand.
Oh, I was too slow. Where's my swipe? Man, they only got me because of fucking 7 Deadly Sins, man. Oh my gosh. Bruh, I started this damn raid and I forgot you can't pause this shit. You gotta just fucking watch. Shit is stupid as fuck, man. It's so dumb. Like, it's offline. I'm not even playing with real people. Why can't I pause? I don't win this, I'm gonna lose. It's over. Hey, I got a chance, man. No. Yeah, it's over. He did? Oh my god, my key. Bro, fuck Goku Black, bro. Dude, he took my key so I couldn't do my blue card. Man, this is just straight bullshit. Unbelievable. He took my keys so I couldn't do my blue card. Is that a downgrade? Nah, it reduces enemy key. So it's not even a downgrade. There ain't no way to even stop that. It's just gonna happen. And you gotta accept it. I'm about to start using my Goku Black, bro. Like, I didn't think he would be so good at only, like, what, 2-star? Like, dude, that dude good as fuck, man. Like, it's like he don't need no stars. Cause you get so much shit once he transforms, you broken as fuck. You get defense at 6-star? He's a powerful opponent booster? Strike and blast attack the future. Holy shit. Dog, this dude. I did not know that, man. I looked at him, I just didn't remember everything. Damn sure didn't remember this. He got 3 buffs. That's crazy. Yeah, bro. I'm gonna have to fuck with Black, man. Shit. 40% cut for 15 seconds. That's crazy. And you get another 40 right here. That's 80% cut if you bring him on the battlefield and pop his main. No, this is after he transformed. Okay. And then after 15 seconds, he get another 40 cut. So he got 80% cut. Well, it's not really 80% cut. It's 40 cut for 15 seconds and another 40. Wow, man. I might have to start using him. Alright, let's do these summons, guys, and then we will be gone. Hopefully I can pull an SSR. That'd be fucking great. Super Vegito. I only need one more beers and he'll be 7-star. That'd be fucking great too. Go ahead and do that. Cyberman. Okay, no problem. Come on, downloading the board. Bitch. Nothing there. It's gonna probably take about a week or 2 to get the board done too. Unless I get lucky. Downloading. Is it a sparking or is it a limit break? Probably a limit break. It's fake out. Oh shit. Pycon. Bruh. Hell no. 14-star? No, it's not a limit break. He's almost 14-star. It's not a bad idea to use him on a bench for movies. He might actually be real good for movies. Anyways, now I can try a little dude. And I will stream later. Hopefully, I am not too tired because I have been up since like 3 this morning. I'll play with him. Some more PvP. Where is... Oh, it's in the settings. Okay. Right, y'all finna dip. Peace.